Hello to the internet. How are we doing, everyone? Hello, hello. This is once again Keith. Thoughtstorms is going live right about now. Lots of show and tell for today. Because I've been picking my apartment up and shaking it and trying to find some things that I'm sick of not having. Well, hello. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me see. Chat is ready to display. Did it display what I put? I'm going to have a peppermint, a sugar-free peppermint, because I am. Hopefully it won't be as annoying as the gum chewing. Ooh, look. Not sure if I'm going to have any way to know if anybody's here, but that's fine. If they chat, I should see that. If they chat, I should see that. I've been saying that I would try to show these artworks one at a time and talk about them. Not every one of them, just a little bit of conversation about them. Let's see if I can manage that. I've been practicing. Did it work? Oh, nope, of course not. Wait. Wrong page. And yes, you guys did see my weirdness that is OBS. That is an old photo chop. I don't remember how old when it was I did it. It's been a long minute. Any guesses as to who the model is? Every bit of that is taken from photographs of someone, and of course made to fit the existing IP, Dexter's laboratory. But I also worked in the other TV show logo into it. Oh, mercy. Coming in small. These are some digital artworks I've worked on over the years. And it's got kind of a, a gathering of the Captain Americas. Ah, here's something. Here's something. This is a sculpture I made for my bachelor. God, I can't think what you call it. To get on to use for my bachelor's degree from the University of Texas at Arlington. It's all glass. That's can barely see this one, your edge on to this pane, but it's a similar, or it's like, I think identical actually. A rouleau triangle, meaning a triangle with rounded sides that have roughly the same width no matter how you slice it, like a Pepto-Bismol bottle, which I'm rarely without. And these are blown glass, or at least hot shop glass structures, and I could never finish it because there was a company in Dallas that was going to possibly silver coat it. There's this thing that some car paint people do where it's a long process, but it ends up making things look just better than chrome. And so the idea was that image would bounce off of this pane and this pane as you look down into it, and it would make a pentagonal, three-dimensional kaleidoscope, basically. So that's the idea on that beast. There's a detail from older words are not happening today. An older Photoshop piece. Another detail. Let's zoom in. Oh, that is not very high res. That's disappointing. Disappointed. I had fun with this. So in the fairly early days of me being on Facebook, I played this Elven Blood game that you join these pages that would say, yeah, sign me up as your friend, because the more friends you had, the more you could do in the game. This was a different game. This was a superhero based game, and my character was all about freezing powers. And I ended up calling him Cold Soldier. Mess with me, I put you in cold storage. So that's actually a greatly modified photo of myself from back in the days where there was some hair on top. Yeah. Geometric abstract. These have titles, but I don't necessarily know them. This is another detail. And it is quite blurry. I'm not crazy about that. I'll have to try to get some higher res images to go through. This is an open source program called Curve Spaces, and those are fourth dimensional pentagonal dodecahedrons that pack tightly together. You can only do that in more than 3 dimensions. And I did a whole lot of work on that with the colors and such. I did a series of art from that. This, at some point I'll try to find the video. I submitted this to the Conan O'Brien show back when he looked like that. And it was one of 100 portraits of him chosen for an exhibit in a pop-up art museum called MoCA, Museum of Conan Art, in Manhattan, I believe it was. Now, I couldn't go see it. They printed it and framed it and hung it, and then shipped the framed thing back to me. But the video I have, a friend who lives there in New York City, or did at the time, recorded the thing you could hear on headphones as you looked at the piece. And it was Conan and Andy Richter discussing it, and it's pretty cool, brush with greatness kind of thing. Older photo chop. I took the original photo. There's a water tower in Fort Worth that, if you're from around here, you probably know. Although it doesn't tend to have a beard and mustache and mouth and hands and razors. I think you've seen the detail of this. This is the larger piece. Another photo chop from the same time. There used to be a website called photoshoptalent.com, and they would set challenges, and people would submit things, and then we would all vote on them and discuss them and everything. And this was for the challenge camouflage. I remember because somebody took issue with it because they said, that's not camouflage, that's invisibility. Well, if it's invisibility, how come you can see them? Anyway, well, I was pleased. I wasn't, this was this was at least 15, 18 years ago. Another old and it's a detail from another old digital fine art piece. Another detail. I'm just gonna I need to get rid of the version with the square. It bugs me. This wasn't for any of those contests, but yeah. Oh, you can't see it because of my big old noggin. Hollywood, but shouldn't. See the logo? These patterns I've used in a lot of pieces, and they were hand drawn, one circle at a time, with a mouse in Photoshop, and then all kinds of cool treatments. I think cool. This is one I like a lot. It's more colorful than I frequently sometimes get. Very close detail of an artwork that I remember I hung in the Stage West gallery. This is probably the most recent of these. You can see that I like certain kinds of symmetry. I like up-down symmetry for one thing, rather than left-right. You see a lot of left-right symmetry in nature, and I like the fact that if that's hanging on the wall and you walk into the gallery and the gallery floor is shiny, when you see it in the floor, it's still, it's not upside down. It doesn't appear to be upside down. I did a series of these so I could stitch them together into a short video, which you can see on my YouTube channel. There's a few of them in here. There's way more of them than are in this folder. The fractal. Well, I guess that's the end of that slideshow. And this, of course, is something I worked on on stream. I still don't have the digital files that I worked on from photographs of this to show, but I've got all kinds of show and tell to show today. I don't think anybody has come in and chatted. But we're here. Looking for something that I've been unable to find for a long time. I found a bunch of cool, fun stuff. There is a certain kind of thermoplastic that you can work with hot water, and it's, I mean, like if you dipped it in your coffee, it would melt enough that you could shape it. I was working on a tree, I think, for that. Here's another one. Let's see where. There we go. Come on. Little spiral. I see somebody. Hello, Barbara Bastine. How are you? Haven't seen you in forever. These I did with wood burning tool and the thermoplastic. Here's one that was in progress. Oh Lord. Let's try this maybe. Yeah. A little zoomed out farther. Anybody recognize this mathematical thing where you've got a loop and you're an ant and you crawl along and you keep crawling along and you end up back where you started? Well, you end up on the other side of where you started, and then you finally do. It's a Mobius strip. Although I gave this 5 twists rather than 1. Or is it 3? I guess it's 3. Oh, I just broke it a little bit. It's alright. It's not difficult to fix. And it's, it was a test of an idea. I will reuse this plastic, most likely. Let's see, this is the first one I did, and I loved it. I really liked the way that it looked. There you go, it's a little closer. And I was never able to get that look again. I could get kind of close to it, but not quite like that. And I really, this is just how it looks as you work it. I didn't paint it or do anything, sand it, nothing. And I love the way this one looked. Still a pretty good piece, I think. Interesting shadows it casts, especially with my LED. I think the next thing I tried to make happen, I wasn't getting what I liked about the first one, so I looked for other things, and I found I could plunge the hot tool in and make these holes. And yes, this may trigger some people. Sorry, I can't remember the name of it. Trypophobia. I have trypophilia. I have the opposite. I like to look at the same kind of thing that gives those people a great deal of trouble. I say those people, my dear friend Brian Schmidt, who I hope is healing up and herring over some health problems. Here's another one. It's funny, as I hold it here for just a second, it reminded me of the popcorn, the sized up popcorn kernels I've been making. Here is an existing wooden bowl. I need to learn what keystrokes to go from one view to another. I've marked it out where I want to carve it away with the Dremel tool. So that's a work that was in progress. Lord, I don't even know how long ago. Long minute ago. Let's see. Here is the tool I was using, and we'll be using again. I shouldn't be surprised using again. I found a bunch of stuff as I was looking for things, and one of the things I found was some of my late father's art supplies. My late father was a Mozart level artist with a pencil and colored pencils, graphite pencil. I don't think he did much with actual paint. But anyway, these. Oh, his Western bronze sculptures were out of this world. He was commissioned by Wayne Newton to do a portrait of Aramis, and these are his sculpture tools. I used to sit and watch him for hours shaping the Western bronze. His horses were so beautiful and realistic that you expected them to walk off the stand. So this was very cool to find. I'm not going to dig them all out at the moment. Very pleased I still own something like this. And I also found a bunch of pencils, most of them hadn't ever even been sharpened. But I can get the plastic tack off of the tip here. I don't want to break it. Ooh. That is a very sticky plastic tack. And then this is I can't remember what these pencils are called, but people are lamenting the fact that they stopped making these. And this is one of his that he absolutely used. That's the way he sharpened it with a knife. I can see PED, P-E-E-D, speedball, lightning, ING dash CO2, I don't know, 602. I didn't do my homework. I'm going to put this back in the bag so nothing gets lost. Good Lord, I've been losing. I found a bunch of things and then I lost a bunch of things. Because when you're on the hoarding spectrum, in fact, when you are very possibly are the hoarding spectrum in the form of a human, when you start moving things around, things get found, things get lost. Nothing lost is terribly important. And look at what I have to show. I found the epoxy clay. It's actually not the same brand that I used for my first epoxy clay stuff. It's the same company, Aves, A-V-E-S. This is Fix-It paste, parts A and B, and I have 2 shrink-wrapped packages of this. I'll be busting this out and mixing it up with some ceramic clay today. That's the plan. So, I believe that's most of the show and tell. Here's something I made in the hot shop. It's not anything special except that it was not easy for me to make a hot glass sphere like that. They're like, throw it away. No, I think I'll keep it. It's kind of a cool paperweight. Paperweight. So yeah, I will be getting my hands dirty again today. If you will spare me for just a moment, I'm going to go get some clay. I shall return interstitially. Best laid plans. Probably going to have to save that for Thursday because I knocked the lid off of my ceramic clay and it is now too dry to work with. I can, however, make some stuff with this Fix-It. Although I don't think I'm going to open that up since I have some that is already open. Assuming assuming I can find it. Oh, one more show and tell. I had a friend there, Colin, was a student with me at UT Arlington, and really excellent glass blower. And he collects marbles and he makes marbles, and he showed me how to make them. And I'm going to show you the first one I ever made. It is my Citizen Kane marble, not because it's rosebud and it's what I'll be thinking about when I die or something weird like that, but because I know there's no way in hell I'm going to make another one halfway this good. So let me get the other camera. That's not it. There we go. Hopefully it will get in focus. He asked me what colors I wanted. I said I want blue and green and white, like the Earth seen from space. And this came together so nicely, quickly. It's not super smooth because it was my first one, but I don't care. I think the colors are really, really great. The whites got washed out a little bit, so it didn't quite look like clouds, but yeah, that was my first and basically last marble. I made a few more, but none of them came out very well. And I was not as knowledgeable then about perfectionism. Didn't realize I was a perfectionist. And so yeah, when I couldn't get even close to that good anymore, I moved on to work on other things. And that's the pencil I don't want to lose. Get it back in the bag. In the bag. So, I suppose the leaving I was planning to work on is not in the cards until I can get my ceramic clay softened back up. I'm out of practice with it, or I would probably not be having these trouble. I found my 120 piece Prismacolor colored pencil box. I won that at UT Arlington in the class. The lady from Sharpie and Prismacolor came through, and they drew names out of a hat, and I won that. And I'm very glad to see it because I do want to dip my hand back in there. Don't have paper ready to go, or I might try a little of that right away, but I mainly kind of just wanted to give a little show and tell. Let me see. I feel like I'm gonna stumble on something that I had planned to show and didn't do it. But that's okay. There will be more streams. And more video on demand. Hey, if you're watching the video on demand later, please comment on the video. Let's use the word aardvark this time to let me know you tuned in and watched the video on demand. People are, it tells me when I get views of the video on demand, and apparently that's the main way people are seeing these streams, which I get it. You can fast forward to the dull bits. Or rewind for the exciting bits. Yeah. Before Barbara came along into the chat, Barbara Bastine, calling my own mother by her first name and not even her nickname. I showed these individual digital artworks. Talked about them a little bit. Well, I'm all at 7s and 6s because I had planned on making those clay. I'll show you the examples. I'm mixing the 2-part. I'll get used to this one day. This is really similar to the one I made a long time ago, although I was able to make this one a lot thinner. And this is epoxy sculpt and ceramic, and I've got to dissolve the ceramic out because I want it to leave the overall shape behind, and have it be a marble between the white clay and the, whoa, how do I line you up? Not drinking run away. Here we go. That's the one that came out sort of the best. I really barely mixed those two kinds of clay up for this one. So this is kind of the idea in very rough miniature. And you can see there's some flexibility to this stuff when it gets this thin. But I was planning on making some new ones of this today. And I have the elusive 2-part epoxy sculpt, but I don't have the other clay, which is good because embrace the shambolic. Perfectionism is gatekeeping, and it ain't worth its weight in poo-poo. I said poo-poo on the interwebs, possibly in front of my mom. Well, that one artwork wasn't in the thing. Huh? Come on, stop posting links, warning. Somebody posted a link. Hello, working link poster. I can't really see very well what's happening in chat. Give me a moment, please. Gotta wake my freaking phone screen up. Lucan has do gers. Well, you're welcome to come in and say things. If you have something you want to link, mention it, and maybe I can get around the robot that chased you away. Don't know if you're still around. Don't think so. But that's okay. Hey, at this point, I'm kind of glad somebody came in and chatted at all. I'm not getting much foot traffic, and that's going to be a long time changing, but the main reason to become a streamer was to start making art again, and it's slow going, but I am making art again, and that's a win. That's a limited success. Same thing, okay. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go to my backup of playing a game online like some people do. This is when taken. They get public domain photographs, and you have to guess the year and location. Alright, there's a water bottle. This is actually you know, this gear that they have is not so much. I wonder if I associate this clothing, this kind of clothing, with Mother Teresa, and she was from North Macedonia, so I think that's where I'm going to stick them. And as far as the year, it's a CNN truck, but that doesn't narrow it down a whole bunch. What this? Whoa! Interesting barricade is. All right, I'm gonna stick 2008, and like I said, I think Mother Teresa was from North Macedonia. Ha ha! Although without being able to search, I'm not 100% sure I can find it on the map. I am an American after all. Ha ha ha. We are not known for our prowess. Of course, they may not be country people of hers. They may just be wearing the same cloth. Moldova, Romania, Hungary, Croatia, Bosnia. There you go, North Macedonia. That's where I'm going to try. Try not to play quite as slowly as I had been. See how I do. 14 years off. Rwanda. Yep, that's pretty distant. That is less than half marks. 94 out of 200. Okay. Looking for some kind of text, even just for a language indication. We've got black and white country flags. And I don't know whose flags they are, if I'm being honest. Another one. I can't think. Just about everybody seems like they're facing the photographer. Hey, let's take a great little big shot, and we can do one for fun. Got military, heads of state. To me, that feels 50s, maybe late 50s. I guess there's something that between the camera and the people there. Yeah, this is going to be just an absolute out from the bottom guess. Those striped flags on the, what do you call that? Make it seem like we welcome people from the United States, except that they don't seem to have the blue part, blue and white part. Well, I am going to just put it somewhere in Africa. In 1957. I mean, I haven't got a clue. What the occasion was. I am not knowledgeable. Let's try Kenya. Can you picture that? I guess maybe they'd be closer to the capital, since there were mucky mucks coming from the other countries. How'd I do? Pitch 7, pitch 5, only 2 years apart. Suriname. That's, man, they they had a picture from Suriname very recently. Once again, 98 out of 200. Not great. Well, I can't seem to. What's happening? One moment, please. I seem to be frozen. Okay, that didn't go away for you guys, or did it? Okay, so my monitor's messed up, but okay, here we go. At least I can finish the game before I call it a day. Feels like that should be instructive. But I don't know much about the rest of the world. I have traveled very little. Very little. Almost 3 weeks in Ipswich and a couple of days in London. And 5 days, 4 nights in Cancun because I won a trip. Oh, we've got flags. Oh, shoot. I've been trying to do flashcards for flags, and that one's... I've seen it recently, and I don't know what it is. I don't know where. I haven't got a clue. Wow. Oh, well. Let's say 2014. I feel like putting in Suriname since that's so popular. I can't tell if you're seeing what you're seeing. Oh, where was I going to put it? I'll put it somewhere in Colombia. I have no idea, folks. I'm sorry. I need to find a different game to play online. 4 years off. India. Delhi, India. Huh. I feel like I should know more about India than I do some of the other ones. Oh, there's a foo dog. Or a foo lion. There's a bunch of names for those. And I think they are cool. And I loved them in the Marvel movie Master of the Ten Rings. When these things come to life, that's one of the coolest things I've ever looked at with my eyeballs ever. I love that. I want one. Okay, well, I mean, clearly we're in Canada. That's a joke. Absence of cars, the presence of so many bikes, and then we have the language on the wall. I feel like this is quite a ways back. I'm going to try 1980. I was still in high school. That was the ancient times. I don't know where to stick it. That. Oh, how about not far from Shanghai? Beijing. Much better. 1 year off. So that's good. I'm usually better with the dates than the locations. Hello, there you go. Okay. Mighty fine hat. All of these are fine hats. The British, or the guy in the British helmet, made me think of India. The Raj. Goodness. And way back here we got a guy, looks like a, what do they call those pork pie hats? Maybe two. I'm gonna say 19... shoot. 1935. Maybe not India. Maybe I'll try their neighbors. I'll go near the border, Pakistan and India. Cook Islands. Wow. And 35 years off. 0 out of 200. Nice. Not at all. Didn't do very well on that. Okay. Well, alright kids. I suppose I'm going to wrap this up at about the 1 hour mark. I feel peckish and I don't like to eat before a scream. So I want to get something to eat. But it's good that my loving mother came by. And somebody came by to post a link. I wonder if there's a way for me to see what the link was after the fact. Don't know yet. I'm still new at this. Well, folks, join with me in embracing the shambolic and let's defeat perfectionism, because it's crap. It's not worthy. And look up ranked choice voting. I'm going to call it a stream. Adios, muchachos y muchachas. Vaya con queso.